We're near a Legion slave camp now. I've been here before. Let's get one thing straight. I see any crimson, I'm taking a shot. You don't like that, you're on your own.
As long as you don't mind me joining the fun.
I don't think I'd hold it against you.
Alright then, Boone. Let's do this.
Oh.
Please, ma'am, take pity on us. Free us, I'm begging you.
What? How were you captured?
My family was ambushed by a pack of Legion raiders near Searchlight, and Frank ran off, the gutless coward. I have no idea where he is, but at least we're free from his abuse.
He was hurting you?
Ever since he lost his job a few years back, he hasn't been the same. He took a switch to us for the tiniest things. We were trying to get away when the Legion showed up. I'm glad he ran off like a coward. But slavery wasn't the kind of escape I was looking for.
Alright, hold on. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. When will we be free?
Here, let me deactivate your collar.
If there's any chance you can free us, it's worth the risk.
Let me see. Oh. Looks tougher than I thought. We'll have to find another solution.
Anything that gets us out of here, please.
250. There you go. Boom.
When will we be free?
Here, let me deactivate your collar.
If there's any chance you can free us, it's worth the risk.
Alright, just hold still.
My goodness, I swear my heart skipped a beat.
Alright, hold on a minute.
Anything that gets us out of here, please.
Oh, it's just awful here. Can't you help us?
Let me deactivate your collar.
If you say so. You know these collars have a bomb in them, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Hold still.
You did it! Oh, thank you so much.
Yep, I'm working on it.
Hurry up. The guards keep eyeing me like I'm a piece of meat.
Yeah, okay, hold on.
We're being held here against our will. I beg you, help us.
Okay, let me deactivate your collar.
Sounds like I don't have much choice.
Ooh, RF detonator. Give me a second.
Hey, you did it. Nice work.
Alright. I'm working on it.
Sorry, I'm just glad someone is doing something. The last thing I need is to be made some legionary's bitch and sent off to God knows where.
Yeah, I hear you.
When will we be free?
Cry freedom. Run for it.
You think we can make it? You really do? Freedom!
Alright. Good luck, everyone. Get out of the way, Boone. Jeez.
We've got a situation with some great cons right now. The brass and mechanics ordered me to lock down the ruins until it's been resolved.
What's going on with the Great Khans?
One of my patrols was on its way back from Novak when it came under fire from the Great Khans. They radioed for reinforcements, but instead of waiting for us, they chased the Khans into the ruins where they were caught in a crossfire. No deaths, but not all the squad got out. The Khans have Private Ackerman and Private Gilbert as hostages.
Alright. I may be able to negotiate a deal with the Great Khans.
Normally I'd turn you down since I have no idea who you are. but considering that the hostages are as good as dead when we attack... Alright. I'm going to give you a chance to talk to the Great Khans. Their leader is a man named Jessup. If we hear shooting, we'll be coming in.
Okay.
But it'll probably be too late for you.
I understand.
Good luck.
What the hell? You're that courier Benny wasted back in Good Springs. You're supposed to be dead.
Well, I got better.
And here I thought us Great Khans were tough to kill. So, what happens now?
Where's the platinum chip?
Don't have it. Benny stole it right before he stabbed us in the back. He's probably back at the strip by now, laughing at me.
Alright, well, I want some answers.
Yeah? On what?
What can you tell me about Benny?
He's one of the chairmen, big shots that run the Tops Casino in New Vegas. A friend from the city contacted me with info on a big job. I should have known that the caps were too good to be true, but there was still no way I could pass up the chance.
So why did Benny betray you?
He's a snake, that's why. He owed us the rest of the pay for the job, so maybe he didn't want to pay up.
Alright. Never mind, let's talk about something else.
Fine.
Let's talk about selling things between you and the NCR.
Let's negotiate. The NCR backs off, we walk out of here, nobody gets hurt.
Free the hostages now, and I'll have the NCR escort you out of their territory.
I can't believe I'm doing this. But alright, the hostages can go. The NCR had better keep their end of the deal, though. Here, a souvenir for you. It's Benny's lighter. Shove it up his ass when you catch up with him.
Alright. Goodbye.
Yeah, go on.
I'm glad you were able to get my people freed, but there's a new problem. I just got
What?
orders to take out the Great Khans, hostages or not.
Well, the Great Khans let their hostages go in exchange for their own freedom.
My hands are tied. I can't go against orders, can I?
If you have any integrity, then you're on the deal.
You're right. The Great Khans are free to go.
Fancy meeting you here, friend.
What the? How'd you get here?
Just rolling along on my spurs. Looks like I just might make it to New Vegas after all.
You see what happened in there?
Yep. Guess it's just down to you and Fancy Pants. I wouldn't worry about him. He looks all hat and no cattle, if you ask me.
I don't like being followed, Robot.
Now, it ain't my fault that Dorothy and the Tin Man happen to be on the same yellow-striped road, is it?
Alright, you just watch it. See you around, Victor.
Look me up when you get to New Vegas. I'll buy the first round.
Oh, hell. What is it now?
Hey there, how'd you end up at Camp Golf?
I've been here since the first push into Vegas. Back in the day, this camp was the hotspot for conflicts with the Legion, Raider tribes, you name it. These days, I spend most of my time trying to beat a little discipline into the soldiers under my command. I've gotten soft with no action.
So what do you do now that the fighting's died down?
Mostly drill the troops, try to keep the discipline up and combat readiness high. It's not the easiest job in the world. Soldiers without a mission get bored very easily. Still,
Right.
with the Legion just across the river, we have to be ready.
Sounds like a little disappointing in your troops.
Disappointed. We call them the Misfits for a reason. They're undisciplined, lazy, and they have absolutely no esprit de corps. The squad leader's got some promise, kid named Mags. But as for the rest, I don't see much hope. I'm going to make them shape up if it kills me, though. Or them, for that matter.
Maybe I can help you whip them into shape.
You're welcome to try. Hell, maybe they'll listen to somebody they don't see as an authority figure.
Alright, goodbye.
Yeah, whatever.
Howdy, great to see you.
Howdy. Sergeant McCready asked me to talk to you about getting your squad in shape.
To me? Well, I'll tell you what I think this squad needs. A little more basic human niceness.
Human niceness.
That's right. Folks just don't talk to other folks. And everybody's always cross with each other.
So you think I should find ways to convince the Misfits to get along?
That'd be swell. Only if they knew the idea came from me, they probably wouldn't take you serious no more. So maybe you ought to think about it first. And I sure hope you're more convincing than I am, or they ain't gonna listen.
Okay, I'll try to convince them.
Okay,
Can you tell me about your squad mates?
they're mostly pretty nice. Poindexter showed me how to make fireworks. Raz kind of scares me sometimes, but I don't mind. He's had a hard life.
Tell me a little more about yourself.
Well, I was born on a farm out in California. Weren't much. Me, Ma, and Pa, my 2 sisters, and about 40 acres of corn and Brahmin. Didn't ever have no problems, really, except for some lean years. Then I joined up and got shipped out here to New Vegas.
Alright. Well, how did you end up in the army?
Well, as it turns out, we had a string of bad harvests a few years back. Pa said he couldn't afford to feed but 3 youngins or we'd starve. As the biggest one, it was my job to go join the army so's my sisters could eat and so's we wouldn't all be killed by raiders and Jesus would love us. It's alright, I guess. I don't like all the fighting we gotta do, though.
Why are you so afraid of fighting?
I ain't scared. I just don't like hurting folks is all. Ma always used to tell me, boy, you're the biggest and the strongest, so you mind yourself. Every day she told me that. Guess I done took it to heart.
Well, goodbye, Honorhand.
Toodaloo.
Excuse me? Yeah, toodaloo.
I'm assuming you aren't associated with the Army or the Rangers. What can I do for you?
You assume correctly, Poindexter. Are you are you in charge around here?
In a strictly official capacity, no. However, as I am by far the most intelligent and resourceful figure on this base, I feel it's safe to say the soldiers here look up to me.
Really? Well, since you're so respected, maybe you can help get this unit into shape.
You're trying to appeal to my ego. I must admit it's an effective tactic. All right, I'll help. But only because I want to see if it's even possible.
Alright. So, how'd a guy like you end up in the army?
It's a simple idea. The Army offers fiscal security and generous benefits at the cost of substantial personal risk, if you're on the front line. If you perform too poorly, they'll scrub you out. Perform too well, and you get sent to the front lines. All I have to do is ride that mediocrity gradient to a cushy, do-nothing job miles away from the war.
I see. Alright, well, goodbye.
I somehow suspect you'll be back to converse with me later.
No, No, I don't think I will.
Hell of a battle at Nelson. I'm impressed our troops survived.
Alright, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Not much to tell, really. I grew up in New Reno, joined up, took my shot at being a ranger, didn't make it, so I'm stuck with this crew of jokers.
Really? How come you didn't make it into the Rangers?
Gee, I don't know. Maybe because I'm saddled with the worst damn unit in the NCR Army. Think that might have something to do with it?
Sounds like you aren't too fond of your squad mates.
Yeah. I mean, no. They're okay people, but they don't care, you know? They don't have any ambition, no drive. They're slacking off, and that reflects badly on me.
Well, maybe if you try to lead by example instead of tearing them down.
You really think so? Hell, I guess it's worth a shot.
Yeah. So, why'd you join the army?
I guess I wanted to make something of myself, you know? Be the best of the best. I wanted to be a ranger, but guess this is as close as I get.
Uh-huh. Alright, that's very interesting. Goodbye.
Sure. See you around.
What you want, Holmes?
Hey, SA. You know anything about your squad mates?
We don't talk too much, mostly. Poindexter's a smart-ass prick. Well, Hanrahan's a big pussy, ain't good for shit in a fight. And Mags, well, Mags is cut out for something other than soldiering, you dig?
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's charming. It's good to know team building is alive and well.
Shit, maybe you're right. Guess I ought to give him a shot.
Alright, so what's your story, man?
Ain't much to tell. Grew up out west, in the boneyard. Heard of it? Yeah, not me.
Yeah.
Lab.
What?
Wasn't really a good place for kids, you know?
I have heard of it.
Up to get out. My family's still back there.
So why are you in the army?
Shit, honey, it was this or the Fiends. And Fiends don't last too long in the NCR. At least this way, the badasses with the top shelf guns are on my side.
Fair enough. Goodbye.
Right.
Alright. There we go. Human niceness.
Howdy, great to see you.
How's that human niceness working out?
Boy, the squad sure is working together a lot better now. I think we're gonna be A-okay.
Great. See ya.
Toodaloo.
Back west, you don't see too many of these. Lakes, I mean. Natural or man-made. Any kind, really. We neglected the dams or pumped all the water out a long time ago. Owens, Isabella, the San Luis. Drained the aquifers of everything they had. Just a lot of mud and dust now. It's a different feeling watching the sun come up over the water. Takes some getting used to. But if you're here long enough, it starts to seem normal. That's what a ranger's life is now, looking east. You must be the courier folks have been talking about. Word on the radio is that someone wronged you back in Good Springs. The Mojave has a way of burning decent people up. But it sounds like you've done right by the NCR. It's appreciated. Now what can I do for you?
Do you ever stop talking?
I didn't realize you were in such a hurry. I get so used to sitting in this chair and listening to radio reports, sometimes I forget people are getting ready for war out there.
Yeah. Let's talk about something else.
Shoot.
Tell me about yourself.
Folks around here call me the chief, but handling's just fine. The Rangers run themselves pretty well, but I try to lend a hand. Mostly administrative work, helping coordinate intel on the radio. That and keeping an eye on the fires growing across the water.
Fires?
Legion fires. They burn high wherever the Legion goes. Caesar's a hard man to figure out, but he always wants you to know when more troops are at your front door.
Let's talk about something else.
Shoot.
What do you know about Caesar?
The best of the best, worst of the worst. He came out of NCR, one of the followers of the apocalypse. Like a lot of the followers, he went out in the wilderness with a partner to try to help those who needed helping. Not much different from how the Rangers used to be. Except with books and medicine instead of guns.
So where'd he go?
Out to the Grand Canyon. He met a missionary from Utah, a man by the name of Joshua Graham. Graham helped translate for the followers and the tribes. All three of them got nabbed by the Blackfoots down there, back when they were still at war with every other tribe in the Southwest.
How did a follower wind up becoming Caesar?
Somewhere along the way, he realized he needed to educate the Blackfoots or they were going to get wiped out with the rest of the tribe. Showed them how to use guns, how to make explosives. Once he taught the Blackfoots a thing or two, they needed him. And he no longer needed the followers, NCR, or anyone else. He decided he could remake the tribes of the Southwest whether they wanted it or not. He became Caesar, and Joshua Graham became his legate, his right hand. And that's where Graham stayed until Hoover Dam.
What happened to Graham after Hoover Dam?
Losing the dam was the worst defeat the Legion ever suffered. Graham had been with Caesar since the beginning, but he had to set an example. The Praetorians covered Graham in pitch, lit him on fire, and down into the Grand Canyon he went.
So that was the end of Graham.
It's not that clear cut. You have to understand, Graham was the toughest son of a gun anyone around these parts had ever seen. Before Hoover, we had 5 kill reports on Graham from Rangers and 1st Recon sharpshooters who tried to take him out. Some folks think he's still alive. Call him the Burned Man.
I really doubt that. Let's talk about something else.
Shoot.
How's the NCR doing?
It's no secret we've had better campaigns. Holding this whole length of river isn't easy. We're stretched thin and the long 15 just keeps getting longer. Slow to get supplies, slower to get reinforcements. NCR's Senate has got funds tied up at the boneyard. And President Kimball ordered our most experienced rangers to chase ghosts down in Baja.
What's going on in Baja?
It's complicated. Goes way back. I told President Kimball that we need more rangers here. He accepted that, but took the most experienced ones and sent them south. Patrol rangers are good men and women, but we're about to fight a war.
why are funds tied up at the boneyard?
Senate elections are coming up. Local representatives don't want to push any more funding to the Mojave campaign because it's unpopular. Most of the folks around the boneyard haven't been to New Vegas and probably never will. All they know is that their money gets sucked away to this desert and their brothers, sisters, sons, and daughters die here.
What about the troopers?
You've seen it yourself. Some of them don't even have proper service rifles or armor. Our heavy infantry, power armor units, they're back in NCR territory protecting the interests of Brahmin barons against small-time raiders. Brahmin barons only have one vote at the ballot box, but they have a lot of money to throw around.
Let's talk about something else.
Shoot.
What's the Legion been up to?
Not too long ago, they took Nelson and Searchlight. They got some camps on the eastern shore of the Colorado, and the monstrosity on the hill across the lake. That's for Caesar. Some folks don't believe he's here yet, but you can tell. He's the eye of the storm. It all roils and spins around him. You don't have to see the man to see the effect he has.
Tell me about Nelson.
Nelson was barely set up. We had a big stretch of unprotected land between Forlorn Hope and Searchlight, and Nelson was the solution. A deaconess named Dead Sea took the place and caused a lot of damage.
And Searchlight?
Searchlight was worse. One of Caesar's Frumentari must have found something in there. Flooded the whole camp with radiation.
Let's talk about something else.
Shoot.
Tell me about the Rangers.
I could tell you a lot if you had the time. But at my age, I'm not sure which of us would get tired first. What do you want to know?
How long have you been in the Rangers?
Oh, well, I guess it must be coming up on 40 years or so. Back before Elise was chief, anyway. It was a heck of a lot harder then. Weren't as many of us to go around, but I think it was a lot easier to tell the good guys from the bad.
So, what do the Rangers do?
Well, there's what we're supposed to be doing and what we're actually doing.
Right?
There's a big gap between those two things. About as wide as that lake out there.
Okay, so what are you actually doing?
Sitting on the shore of Lake Mead, looking east. Listening to a radio. Trying to not get too many people killed. I'm too old to be slapping leather, but I had hoped for something else. More than this, anyway.
Okay. What are you supposed to be doing?
To protect against all forms of tyranny. As simple as that. 30, 40 years ago, the wasteland was full of despots. Slavers, raiders, tough-talking hoodlums with gangs who'd like to kick around towns. Back then, the NCR military was still young. Couldn't cover much ground. It took groups like ours to tip the balance back to the good guys.
Okay, and why are the Rangers here?
There's a lot of answers to that question, but it started with the Ranger Unification Treaty. We weren't always the only show in town. Nevada had its own posse, the Desert Rangers. They fought Caesar even farther east, out in Arizona. Years back, we met with the Desert Rangers at Mojave Outpost and agreed to help them against Caesar if they would join the NCR.
Oh, okay. Well, Chief, do you have any good stories to tell?
Suppose it depends on what you think's good. Most folks want to hear about Hoover Dam and Boulder City, but it's a long story. If you want some tall tales about hunting down slavers or busting up gangs, talk to one of the younger Rangers.
There must be something good the Rangers have done that you're proud of.
Kind of a long one, but all right. About 20, 25 years ago, a group of NCR settlers pushed way south into Baja. I guess it doesn't seem so far now if you look at a map, but back then they were out of ways. They built this little shanty town around a well in the middle of nowhere. Called it Rattletail. Word got back to one of our stations that raiders had been attacking the place. I went out with 6 Rangers. We must have been on the trail for a week before we got to Rattletail. We lost one woman to night stalkers and another almost died of dehydration. When we reached the place, it's 6 shacks set up around an old well. There's over 24 bodies lying in the dunes way outside of town, and 5 men with .308 rifles crouched behind sandbags. And these bodies, these people out in the sand, they aren't raiders, aren't even heavily armed. They're just people who were trying to get to the only well in 50 miles. I didn't have to talk to the men to see that they did not care one bit.
Right.
They had planted an NCR flag over the well. They would not budge until every last one of them was laid out dead and cold. So I walked up and told them there was a group of raiders coming, 100 strong. I made up some cockamamie name for them and everything. The men looked at each other, looked at us, and asked me what we were going to do about it.
Okay.
I told them we would take them back into NCR territory because we'd already lost 10 Rangers on the way out. 10 Rangers, 5 men with .308 rifles. Well, that was enough for them. They packed up what they could and we took them back north. Last I heard, they settled somewhere in Anza Borrego. Raised bighorners. Had some tough times, but it worked out okay for them. So there you go. That's my one bit of good.
Interesting. And, okay, tell me about what happened at Hoover Dam and Boulder City.
In big battles, Caesar deploys his legionaries in waves. Recruits up front, prime soldiers behind the recruits, old guard bringing up the rear. Opponents wear themselves out dealing with the first 2 waves, if they survive that long. When the veterans step up, there's not much fight left.
Right.
Caesar can adapt, though, and when required, he can run any mix of legionaries as skirmishers and still retain order in the ranks. Joshua Graham, Caesar's old legate, he wasn't so flexible. When the Legion attacked Hoover Dam, General Oliver ordered his troopers back to the middle ground just after first contact. Graham pushed all of the legionaries onto the dam, filling the east side with recruits up front and veterans in the back, by the book.
Okay, by the book.
But once they were in, they were stuck there. Oliver's troopers were entrenched and wouldn't give a foot. That's when we ordered the Rangers and the 1st Recon sharpshooters to start picking off veteran Legion officers from a high ridge west of the dam. That only lasted about a minute before Graham ordered the back ranks to push through to the front and rush the ridge.
Okay.
Caused total chaos among the younger legionaries. Oliver's troopers fell back to the side walkways and stayed out of the veterans' way. By the time the veterans got to the ridge, we were already in Boulder City. They followed us down there, but we were out before they realized what was happening.
Okay.
We'd packed the old city with C4 and dynamite. Crude, but it did the job. Those who didn't die in the blast were in no position to mount a defense. The ones left on the dam didn't know what to do. The troopers routed them. Graham pulled the remaining legionaries back, but the battle was over. He went south, back to the Grand Canyon, back to Caesar. And that was the last we saw or heard from Joshua Graham.
I guess after that he got, what was it? Covered in pitch, set on fire, and thrown out of the Grand Canyon. Let's talk about something else.
Shoot.
Goodbye.
Adios.